This is Liam, a tired and exhausted young man after he was drinking his fresh drink after a long work day. He wakes up suddenly and finds himself existing in the body of a 12-year-old child, born into a very noble family. And he starts after that to get to know the features of his new life. So he looks in the mirror and gets startled like this when he sees his new shape. And suddenly we see after that his father, and he is saying to him, "Oh, my son, you are a member of the family. I want you to get a hold of yourself and act a little maturely instead of you constantly looking around you like this." And the party that is being held, that is for the birth of Liam's sister. But our hero is still in a state of childishness and thinks he is dreaming. But when he wakes up the next day, he realizes that all of that was real and knows that the body he is in now is the body of another person named Liam, and he is the fifth son of the Count. He sits after that with the fourth son, Bruno, and who talks about his new sister and that when she grows up and marries into the family of the Queen, their family's situation will be more guaranteed. And Bruno continues his talk with him that the family has become on the verge of collapse and that they must do anything to preserve the safety of the family and its obscene wealth. And after that, the magic teacher enters to start the lessons. And Liam, of course, is excited that they will study magic. His brother then says to him, "Don't raise your expectations too high like that. Only one person out of every 100 people is the one who has the talent for magic." But this talk doesn't affect him, and he heads after that to his family's library, which contains many magic books. And there, Liam starts opening his first book and performing the first fire spell. His maid encourages him and tells him that he can use magic successfully, and Liam after that then manages to get permission from his father so he can take the magic books from the library and study them. And after that, he starts going to the forest to train practically on those books. And our hero succeeds in making a fire-cutting spell exactly as mentioned in the book. And he says to himself that he might be able to do it without the book if he gets more used to it. And after a month, he actually manages to perform the spell a second time without a magic book, and the world is the ultimate chill. His brother Bruno then is very astonished because he managed to perform those spells easily within 1 month without a book, and he tries to do it too, but he fails even with the book. And he gives him the book and says to him, "If you manage to use magic, then this will give you a very high status in the kingdom. But be careful. If you are using this magic for the purpose of becoming the family head, then it's better. I mean, be careful of your older brother because he won't leave it for you easily." And we see Liam after that decide to transition to ice magic after learning all the primary fire magics. And after that, his father summons him to see how he uses his magic. And the man is astonished when he learns that Liam has the ability to use all the primary fire spells without a book. Not only that, but also all of that happened within just 1 month. The father after that laughs a crazy laugh like that from the extreme happiness he is in and says to his servant, "This, we are the blessing, has descended upon our family." And he continues his talk with Liam that he should not hesitate if he needs any magic books. And after that, one of the servants enters and informs the father of the entry of a stranger onto their private lands. The father passes by the gathering of soldiers to go and bring him. After that, Liam heads to the forest. He is happy that his father will bring him all the magic books he will request from him. And he meets someone like this, sitting relaxed opposite the tree in front of him. And when this person knows that he is one of the sons of the Hamilton family, he says to him, "I have already failed, and I think this is my destiny. Come on, man, do whatever you want now." Liam says to him, "Do what exactly?" The second person replies to him, "You are right. I am the one who is a little nervous. You are still just a child." And he glances after that at the magic book in his hand and says to him, "The best way you will learn is through consistent and constant practice." Liam says to him, "Yes, really. I am doing that, and I am going to train his walking." The second person says to him, "If you want to know a better and more effective way, I can tell it to you, no problem." And he uses, after that, 5 types of magic at the same time. And our hero, of course, is astonished by what he is seeing and asks him how he is doing that. The second person notices in Liam then the decency and lack of arrogance that is in most nobles, and because of that, he repeats teaching him. He orders him after that to draw a square and a circle at the same time, and Liam succeeds in that. He says to him, "As long as you manage to do that, it will be easy for you to use the 5 types together because the process is similar." And Liam thinks after that about the fire-cutting spell in his right hand and the fire ball in his left hand at the same time and together. With imagination and calmness, he actually manages to do them together. And after that, the time comes for him to do the 3 spells together, and he starts doing them one after the other. But he finishes quickly, and that is because his magical energy ran out. The second person then says to him, "To succeed in them quickly, you must perform the 3 spells at the same time." And he sits on the ground after that and writes in front of him some primary numbers and says to him that the technique relies on prime numbers only. And after that, the person shows his limit in magic and says to him, I think I can reach level 16 with my magical energy. And after that, he gives him a ring. And this ring is a magical encyclopedia equivalent to 100 books in magic. And when Liam wears the ring, more than 300 spells flow into his head. And Liam loves that he tries the ring and the spells he learned from it. So he performs a wind shot spell. And after that, that man disappears suddenly when Liam's maid comes and says to him that you can't stay here alone because a suspicious man has infiltrated the family's land. And she brings with her a magic book from his father. And this book is about summoning magic. The maid says he must return to the palace as soon as possible. And after that, they walk away. And the person appears from again. And when he asks him, "You, where were you?" he says to him, "I hid myself using magic, nothing more." And he makes him open the book to the summoning spell and says to him, "Try to cast the spell while wearing the ring." Liam does that indeed, and a small fire dragon emerges from the spell. And the surprise after that is that the magical encyclopedia absorbed the contents of the book in his hand. And Liam sits summoning many characters, but the strange person returns and disappears again, and he has written for him on the ground, "Continue studying magic, and we will meet again somewhere, and I hope you don't talk to anyone about me." And after a month, Liam uses his magic with all ease in producing expensive elements like white charcoal. And when his brother sees him doing all of that with magic, he says to him, "It seems like you won't need any of us in the future, and you will be fine." And he continues his talk that he will marry from a family poorer than them by a little, but he will gain the freedom he was dreaming of. And he advises him after that he must think about achieving his financial independence. Liam, of course, thanks him for the advice and heads after that to the shop to sell the things he made and earns good money. But he thinks of something to put less effort into and earn more. And when he sits during his rest time, the macaroni, which is the popular dish of that country, impresses him very much. And he decides to take a sample and taste it for his servants. Well, and they like it too. And when he goes after that Liam to one of the restaurants to sell the product to them, the restaurant owner refuses. And that is because only his older brother has the authority to do that. And we see after that the older brother, who is very resentful of him because he managed to learn magic and make things like that. He is then the one who agreed with the man to make it difficult for his brother. And after that, something happens. Liam leaves the shop feeling frustrated, but he knows that frustration won't do anything for him. And because of that, he starts working in silence and uses the item box spell, which gives him the ability to store all his products that he wants in it, no matter their size, in a small place. And after that, the teacher goes completely crazy and uses summoning magic to summon a second copy of himself and sends his copy to lands far from there, lands to sell his products. And in this way, Liam succeeds in earning money away from his family's land while being in it at the same time. Literally, this kid's brain is working. I don't sleep. And thus, our hero, of course, will manage to achieve his financial independence. After that, we see Liam training with his second copy and succeeding in controlling it. But suddenly, his older brother enters on him. So he hides the second copy immediately and says to him, "I heard you messed up these days and everyone is talking about you." Liam says to him that he himself wants to be financially independent and live his life. So his brother replies to him that he will introduce him to the Hunters Guild and will help him. And after that, Liam arrives at the Hunters Guild. And the first time he enters, people start making fun of him because he is still a small child. And the chief says to him that he will start with him by conducting the test because they will never send him to a place that exceeds his abilities so that there is no danger. And after that, a man comes and stands in front of him and says to him that he must start his attack on him with a spell to test his abilities. Liam indeed starts his attack, and all the people sitting become surprised because he is using high-level magic. The chief after that then says to him, "With your level of strength, I will grant you a license of rank B." And Liam leaves while asking about the level of that license. After that, one of those who were sitting catches up with him, and her name is Asuna, and she offers to him that they hunt together. The girl, of course, keeps trying to trick him, but because she is of his favorite type, he agrees immediately. And while they are walking in the forest, they get surrounded by several wolves. So Liam uses magic and blocks the mouths of those wolves with it. And here comes Asuna's turn, who finishes them all off with her swords. And they take the wolves after that and go to the guild. The chief is astonished by the number they brought. He employs them immediately to do something else, since they are so great. They continue their journey, the two of them, after that in the forest, and Asuna is happy because she got employed. Their new mission after that is to eliminate a giant caterpillar, and after several hours, we see the two tired from fighting with it, and that is because magic is not effective against it. Asuna says, "We won't be able to finish it off unless a meteor falls from the sky." And at that moment, a good idea comes to Liam, so he uses Asuna to direct the caterpillar to a specific place, and here he uses his item box to throw a large rock on it, and it dies. And the two actually succeed in that, to to the extent that they finish off 2 of the giant caterpillars. And when they return them to the guild chief, he is very astonished and says to them, "You didn't even take much time, and you even brought 2. What is this? Sweetness?" Asuna, at that moment, takes advantage of the situation and says to him, "You have in front of you important people. You must take good care of us, so you don't regret it." And because of that, the chief multiplies the reward by 5 times. And after a few days, the Hamilton family is waiting for an important person, and this person's name is James Stanley. And he sits with Liam and asks him about the ring of Raymond that he is wearing, and asks him if he killed the person who was wearing it and took it from him. Liam replies to him that his teacher is the one who gave it to him. So James laughs loudly like that and says to him, "What is this? He took a student for himself too? This is the sweetness." After that, he orders his servant to step back a little and orders Liam to launch an offensive spell at him. This person also uses a protective magic shield, and at that moment, Liam uses the names of the people he loves to increase his magical strength more, and indeed, he succeeds in breaking that protective shield with his attack. And at that moment, the man James decides to grant Liam the title of knight, and in this way, our hero finally achieved his independence. He says to Liam after that, "Now there is nothing you must do as much as you must escape from the hostility of your older brother. Also, your father might be upset because he wanted to use your power for the benefit of the family, but you can help in other ways." And he asks him after that if he faced a prank from Raymond. So he replies to him, "Yes, when I was training on the item box spell, at that time, my teacher wrote him a letter that he left gold for him in the lake, and that box won't pick up gold ingots. And because of that, I spilled gold dust in the lake, which is worth approximately 100 kilograms. And that gold is a graduation gift from him." And he said to him, "If you are feeling frustrated because you don't know the way to receive the gold, then guess why I chose 100 kilograms specifically, and consider that your graduation test." James replies to him that the gold is just a step for something else like that in his mind, and his real graduation gift is close to him and hidden. Liam goes after that to the lake and sucks up all the water, but he doesn't find the gold, but he remembers after that to himself that the dust might be mixed with the water, so he gives the box the command to release all the gold inside it, and indeed 100 kilos fall to the ground. After that, the ground suddenly opens up. He goes down underneath and finds a magic book left for him by his teacher. He wrote him a letter that this book is of the maximum level. I couldn't use it, and I hope you can do that. And he opens the book to the other world spell, but he fails in every attempt. However, after a number of attempts, he manages to succeed, and a gateway emerges that leads to a space from the other world. Its size corresponds to the magical skill of its owner, and thus Liam now has a secret place where he can hide anything, even humans. And after a month, we see Liam and Asuna in a fight with a giant toad, but no, attack is working. The toad is about to attack them, but our hero uses the other world gateway. The toad can't enter, so Liam concentrates his attack on it, and boom, he kills it. And when they deliver the magic stone of the monster, the chief is surprised because it is of a special category, Class A, and Asuna, after that, becomes afraid that Liam might leave her one day, so she makes a contract with him to be subordinate to him and not disobey his orders, no matter what. And the chief is the witness to this contract. And after concluding the contract, Asuna's power, which she gained from Liam, appears, and her skill is acceleration. And we see them after that they go to visit someone related to Asuna. And this is Judy, an experienced hunter, very old. And Asuna advises Liam that she should be subordinate to him too, because he will benefit from her a lot. And after concluding the contract between Judy and Liam, she becomes young in age again, and the skill she acquired is the ability to heal wounds through the food she makes. And they know that after Judy offers a sandwich to someone with a broken hand, and after the first bite, he is healed immediately. And the days pass after that, and Liam's story and his followers become known throughout the kingdom. James says to Liam that Princess Scarlet is interested in you and your followers, and you must clarify everything to her. But our hero says to him, we must find a way to refuse because they are my friends, not just objects for show. And Liam then wants to refuse because if he orders them, they won't be able to refuse his request, and also he wants to preserve their feelings. And at that moment, James orders Liam to dismiss, and we notice that the princess herself was the maid who was serving them drinks, and she says to James that he is interesting, but I wonder if he can say that talk in my face? After that, we see Liam going to Princess Scarlet's palace, and she gets straight to the point and asks him about the way he defeated the caterpillar and the toad giant. And when he answers her, she is surprised because usually those monsters are killed with high-level magic. And after that, she moves on to ask about his followers, but he apologizes to her because he won't be able to show them, and that is out of respect for them. And she says to him, do you want want to refuse my request or what? So he says to her, yes, my friends are not a group of dolls to show them to anyone like that, and that's it. And she laughs after that and says to him, you are just as you are. No one has amused me twice like you. You really deserve a reward. And after that, she decides to grant him the title of Baron. Liam, of course, is astonished because he didn't do anything to deserve that title. And she replies to him that he made her laugh twice, and that is enough. And she gives him after that a book called Familiar, which is a magic book for follower contracts. Literally, this kid has achieved everything in his life. Finally, I don't know what else he will need. Liam takes the book and is very excited about it, and the princess laughs at him because he was happier with the book more than the title, and he takes the book and goes to the forest to read in it. But suddenly, his brother Bruno appears and congratulates him on the new title and says to him, it seems like your brother will be very displeased with you, and that is because with his new title, he has now become of higher status than their father even. And he returns home and after that after nightfall and meets the older brother before, but the second ignores him, and resentment fills the heart of the older brother because Liam is the fifth son, and despite that, he achieved a title more than his father even. And he also notices that everyone is talking about him, even the servants of the palace, and he walks then saying to himself, I must make an achievement that makes everyone talk about me. And on the second day, Liam, Judy, and Asuna are sitting in a cafe and are together as a group, and they go to hunt some wolves. And each one of these two notices that their skills have improved greatly, and Judy's eyes have improved very, very well. And that is an important thing for her because she usually uses the bow and arrows. And when Liam hears this from her, he uses his magic to improve her eyesight more and more. And she can after that see from a farther distance and more clearly too. And the world is the ultimate chill. Asuna comes then and asks him if he could do the same with her too. Liam says to her, I don't advise you, honestly, because I might increase your offensive ability and that will tire your body more. But there is no problem to enhance your vision in another aspect. Judy is happy because she managed to hit a very far target with one shot. And when they go after that to the Hunters Guild to sell the monsters they hunted, they find the place upside down. And the cause of all this is Liam's older brother. And at that moment, Liam runs to the forest and finds many soldiers and eyes on the ground. And among them is his brother. And he is still talking to him. But the guild chief comes and hits him. He says to Liam that an evil dragon imprisoned your great-grandfather there, and now it has been freed. The chief continues his talk and says to him that we can collect the seal again, and we have gathered all the necessary people for that. But the dragon's children are the ones preventing us from doing that, and also they are responsible for the disaster. That means the evil dragon itself is much stronger. And this dragon, my friend, was sealed a long time ago, and it will take a week for him to regain his strength, and they want to seal him before that period ends. After that, the small dragons appear, and Asuna attacks them, but they counterattack them with fire, and Liam after that uses 7 magical fire strikes, but still they block them with their own fire. And of course, at that moment, everyone is frustrated because their strength is very great, and it's impossible for them to defeat them. But at that time, an idea comes to Liam. He makes his followers escape, and he starts performing the Otherworld spell. The gateway opens in front of Liam, and the dragons enter it. He closes the gateway after that and puts it in his item box. And in this way, Liam defeats the small dragons. And we see after that all the magicians standing around the dragon, trying to restore the seal on it again so it doesn't regain its strength. And we return after that again to Judy and Asuna, who ask our hero about the spell he imprisoned them with, and they are afraid that the dragons might return again. So Liam replies to them that the dragons have disappeared for now because he hasn't mastered the spell yet until now. And we see after that a voice calling out to Liam, and the voice is coming from the dragon. He says to him, I am not evil or anything. I just don't care about your human standards. You are a small human, but with a great soul. I wonder who you are. Liam says to him, I am just an ordinary human. But the dragon sees that his soul and body don't match. And here Liam thinks to himself, if the dragon knows that he is an adult in this body, and the dragon, it turns out, can read minds and says to him, okay, I understand, but I don't know why this happened. And at that moment, the dragon says to him, your life is very exciting, and I beg you to let me be with you. And that is because I will help you and won't harm you. And at that moment, our hero asks him to take his power because he doesn't feel any hostility towards him. And indeed, at that time, the dragon materializes inside Liam, and our hero becomes able to feel the great power of the dragon in every part of his body, and he uses his magic after that to test it and throws 11 missiles without incantations. And with the names he says, he manages to throw 17 spells with perfect control, and Liam notices that those around him are affected by his magical power. So the dragon says to him that it's better to pull the power inward, and after that, the guild chief comes and thanks him for removing the threat. Liam, of course, apologizes for disturbing them with the pain emanating from his body, and decides to give him 10 kilos of gold for all that happened. He asks him after that to distribute it to the wounded, and give priority to those facing long recovery periods. And at night then, Liam sits with his father, and his father thanks him for what he did today. As for his older brother, he was sitting in his room and very angry because Liam was the one who managed to defeat the dragon. And in the end, Liam decides that he won't confront him. And we see our hero after that learning new spells and summons a low-level dragon and succeeds in that very easily. And suddenly, the princess appears from behind and is astonished because he is able to use holy magic. She says to him, "I will reward you and grant you the Medal of Distress of the 3rd degree." And she asks him after that how he managed to defeat the dragon, and when he tells her, he notices that she is very upset and says to him, "It is better for you to keep this news secret and not tell it to anyone." And on the second day, the princess sends him 3,000 gold coins, and of course the teacher knows that the reward is for him to keep quiet and not talk at all. After that, we see Liam sitting in the palace with James, and James asks him if he really learned holy magic, but the princess paid Liam to stay silent so he can't tell him. And James then keeps pressuring him with words until he finally confesses that he learned some spells of holy magic. And James tells him after that the story of the 3 dragons, and that one of them was defeated thanks to holy magic. And after that, a human joined, and that human used holy magic to establish a state, which is their state currently. And after that, James says to him that the dragon joining you will cause one of 2 things for you. The first is the dissolution of your family by the state, and that is because the Hamilton family became famous for imprisoning the evil dragon. But with the dragon joining Liam, then there will be no achievement for the family at all. And the bigger problem for James is that the dragon might be angry and planning revenge on their state. Liam then replies to him that the dragon told him that he is not interested in human standards, and after 100 years, humans might give him another title. And I noticed that the dragon wasn't angry or anything, but was interested in me. And Liam leaves after that, and when he returns home, he finds on his table a very large number of potential marriage requests from daughters of wealthy families. And his brother Bruno enters and says to him that one of them is from the family he married into, and she asked him to deliver her list to him and convince him to marry her. And Liam, of course, after all this, is stunned by the popularity he has gained after the dragon incident, and he takes after that his followers to the forest and enters them into his other world and is building a house there. And of course, the house didn't disappear because he has finally mastered the otherworld spell, and he shows them after that all parts of the house. Judy asks about the light of the otherworld and that this place will be very difficult for them to sleep in. And here, Liam then summons a low-level spirit, which makes the whole place pitch dark. And because of that, he summons Salamander and makes him turn on the heater. Judy after that asks Liam if that spirit is able to lower the darkness level to normal, but that would be difficult for the spirit because its level is still low. And Asuna says to Liam, if the spirit had the ability to evolve like us, then it would be able to. And here an idea comes to our hero, and he uses contract magic and evolves the darkness spirit with it. And at that moment, the darkness spirit lowers the level to normal. And also the spirit now has the ability to speak and thanks our hero for raising its level. It says to him after that, "I think the ring you are wearing is an ancient storage device, and it will be easy to store a mid-level spirit summoning spell in it." And Liam tries the idea, and it actually succeeds. And he also evolves Salamander and stores him with his brother. And in the same way, he uses Familiar to evolve the spirits of water, earth, wind, light, and ice that he can summon, and stores them after that in his magical encyclopedia as summoning spells. And on the second day, Liam goes to the forest based on Radon the dragon's request, and when he arrives, the dragon asks him to summon his son. And after that, the son does something that makes Liam see the forest in a different way, and he notices fairies in front of him. In the beginning, they run away from him because he is human, but when they notice the small dragon with him, they come back again. And Liam says to them that Radon the dragon asked him to protect them, and that is because humans use their wings to make magic, and that might eliminate them and make them extinct. And because of that, he must help them. And after that, Liam starts using his magic to evolve the fairies and make them his subordinates. And the dragon says to him that he must name them. And indeed, he evolves the first fairy and names her Rina, who evolves into a dark elf like a genie. And Liam is surprised and doesn't know what is happening. But the dragon replies to him that when he names them during the casting of spells, their strength increases and raises their level more. And the fairies, of course, all want Liam to name them and contract with him. And he starts naming them all and converts them into elves. They all thank him after that. And Rina, who was the first one transformed, says to him, "What we can do for you now." So he replies to them that they can build a village and live in it, and Rina, of course, becomes their leader. And after that, he senses a magical power coming from the depths of the forest. And he keeps walking in the forest until he reaches a tree. He sees that tree glowing and asks Rina about it. She says to him that the fairies were collecting traces of magical forces present in the air and then condensing them in one place. And the dragon offers him then to try it. And when he eats it, his magical power increases and he fires 19 magical missiles, more than he was able to launch before. And our hero comes after that on the second day to check on his subordinates, and they have failed to build any house. But after that, a group of bandits comes and captures one of his subordinates. She calls for help from Liam. Our hero comes and fires fire, strikes at the guy attacking him and kills him. The rest decide to attack him too, so Liam decides to use reincarnation magic and hits them with his magical missiles and finishes them all off. And this place is dangerous for them, so he opens an otherworld gateway and enters them all into it. He uses the gateway after that to transport them to his area. And there he says to them that here there is no danger from bandit attacks because this is my area. And they are all surprised because he managed to bring them all here with one spell. And they all ask him to be their king. Liam says to them, "I don't like that title, but I can be your leader, no problem." And he thinks after that about the place where he can make them live. And he keeps experimenting with the holy magic that Radon taught him until he actually succeeds. And at that moment, he gathers all his subordinates to transport them to the place he chose using high-level teleportation magic. And there he uses a second spell that breaks the seal that was there. And he asks Radon if he can use this place. Radon says to him, "My lord, if you want to use it as a state even, go ahead, no problem." And after they arrive at the place, they ask him about the water source. And at that moment, he summons the water spirit and evolves it and gives it the command to find a water source. And in a moment, a water spring comes out from under the ground. And thus, only construction work remains for the village to be complete. And after that, Liam notices that the teleportation spell develops every time he uses it. Because of that, he uses it more and uses the crystals he has to restore his consumed magical energy. He keeps training on the spells until he masters the teleportation spell. And after that, he decides to leave the dragons with the children with his subordinates to protect them. He returns home again and sits with the princess, who asks him if the dragon talked to him about the promised land. Liam says to her, "No, but he mentioned the sealed land and asked me to take care of some elves." And after that, she asks him to take her there. So he agrees, but he has a request, and the request is to summon the palace engineer. And Liam after that takes a copy from him and takes the princess, and they go to the sealed village. She asks the dragon after that if this is the promised land. And after that, the ring of destiny appears, which is the family heirloom of the royal family. And when Liam touches it, the ground cracks around them. The whole place rises up and then descends again. And here the princess knows that this is the promised land. And at that moment, the princess bows to him and says to him, "O landowner, establish a new state here." And she pledges her allegiance to the master of this land. And of course, we don't understand anything. The engineer they take after that helps the elves build their village. And we see Liam using his holy magic spells to defeat the monsters he encounters. The princess watches him and is astonished by his strength, and after that offers to him to be his maid. Liam, of course, is surprised that these words are coming from the princess herself. So she replies to him that dragon blood runs in her family, and because of that, they always married from the ruling family, and also because of this specific reason, she wants to be subordinate to him. And at that time, the dragon's voice comes in Liam's head and says to him, "Walk 1 kilometer north, you will find something good there." And when they reach the place, they go down the trench underground and find in it a statue of the great dragon. After that, Radon says to Liam that this is a guardian built in his form, and its primary mission is to defeat him. The way is through him deleting a letter from Radon's name written in an ancient script on the head of this dragon, because the result of deleting a letter will be the word cut. And the princess says to him, the solution is in the second letter. Liam actually uses the holy arrow to erase the letter, and his plan succeeds. We see after that, the dragon responds to the dragon blood running in the princess's veins, and the princess stays after that with that dragon until it licks its wound. Liam then returns quickly after that to the village, which has been attacked by some werewolves. The leader of the wolves is angry because these are some intruders on the holy land. He says says to him, "We will cut you to pieces if you refuse to leave this land now." And the wolf attacks the elf suddenly, but our hero disappears suddenly and appears behind him. He uses the lightning spell, and after that uses the healing spell so he can communicate with him. After that, he summons a small radon and says to him, "Liam, after that, you have lived here for a long time. You expelled the invaders according to Radon's words, and that is the same. That happened with the subordinates with me." And the werewolf then understands the situation that happened and that Liam won't harm them. And Rina after that suggests to them the idea that they make a contract with Liam too. Liam, of course, doesn't mind and uses familiar magic and converts their leader, but he transforms into a she-wolf. And I thought you were a man, never mind. The next day then, Liam sees that the pace of construction has increased after the werewolves joined, and he thinks to himself if he had the magical ability to build what the wolves destroyed. And Radon says to him, "By God, if you don't have a creation spell, it's not a problem. Just imagine the process in your mind like this, clearly from the beginning to the end." And indeed, Liam imagines the process and succeeds in building the things that were broken. And after that, one of the elves calls for Liam's help because some humans have come to kidnap some fairies. At that moment, Liam intervenes and starts his attack on the humans in an attempt to preserve his state. And when the humans don't retreat, he starts using disappearance and appearance magic on the back of each knight's horse. And whenever he hits one, he comes back again after that. And he reassures Rina that he has taken care of the matter. And after that, she introduces him to the fairies, who also want to contract with him. "May your house be ruined, man. What else do you want from the world?" And he lines them up after that and contracts with them one after the other. And after that, he holds a meeting with Scarlet, the princess, Asuna, and Judy, and asks them if they know the identity of the knight he hit. The princess says to him that this is a state on the borders of the Promised Land, and certainly those he defeated were a group of scouts, and they won't let it go. Liam, of course, thinks to himself that many states will come here and want the new state. Nevertheless, the princess says to him that she still holds her opinion and that he must build the state. And a state needs three things: land, people, and authority. He has the land and is gaining people with the spread of rumors about him. As for authority, which is centered in an army that protects the state, it will be up to the werewolves. And on the second day, a delegate from the state of Jamel comes and says to Liam that the state of Jamel does not want to fight you and that they are seeking an alliance. And if you are willing, then we are ready to offer you marriage to the first princess, Scarlet. And the funny thing about the matter, my friend, is that this delegate doesn't know that the one standing in front of him is the princess originally. And at that moment, Liam uses his magical ability to telepathically communicate with Princess Scarlet. And when he asks her if he should agree or not, she agrees and says to him that this matter will give us a respite no matter what their intentions are. And Liam says to the delegate, "I agree, but I will take a year ahead of me because you see the conditions here. And in that year, prepare the land to befit Her Highness the Princess." And the delegate says to him that he will inform the king and takes his leave and leaves, we see. After that, Liam using his second copy to go to Scarlet's palace through instant teleportation. And Scarlet there shows him the statue of Radon, which senses the dragon's power in Liam, and he finds a spell on it. After that, the statue turns into armor worn by the princess. But after using one spell, she falls to the ground and consumes all her strength, and that is because the armor was high level. And because of that, Liam uses his magic to create second level armor. And when the princess wears it, she can use a holy magic spell, and the princess becomes very happy with the armor she is wearing. And here Liam uses contract magic with Princess Scarlet and names her Ars, the battle patron. And at that moment, the princess feels very light, and also her strength becomes greater. She uses the holy magic spell a second time and cuts all the trees in front of her easily without tiredness this time. And also here, an idea comes to Liam, and he goes to the Radon dragon statue and throws some of his blood on it. After that, the statue turns into armor. After that, Liam wears it and is able, through it, to fire 37 magical spells. But we see after that the spell consumes all his energy, and the statue returns again. And Radon then says to him at that moment, "You are the third person to succeed after wearing this armor, but I promise you that if you master this spell one day, you could rule the world." Anyway, after that, Liam uses his crystals to restore his magical energy again, and puts the dragon statue in his item box. And after that, he uses instant teleportation to deliver Scarlet to the kingdom, and he returns after that to the village again. And Rina comes and says to Liam that there are creatures living near them called trolls, and they are a danger to them. These creatures are large, their height ranges from 2 to 3 meters, and they are muscular, and their personality is also divided into two types, either violent or kind. And of course, here Liam thinks about how to convince them to join him. And after that, our hero decides to go to their village. And while he is walking in the valley, they come out from behind him. Liam introduces himself to them and says to them that he came here to recruit them with him, and says to them that the fairies and werewolves have already joined him. But these monsters don't believe him due to their lack of trust in humans, and their leader starts hitting Liam with the giant hammer he has. But Liam dodges all those blows until his leg gets stuck in a hole in the ground, and here the leader decides to finish him off and give him the final blow. But at the appropriate moment, Liam uses the magical combat shield of the Guardian, which protects him from the attack completely. And here the leader submits to Liam because despite his attack, Liam did not retaliate in order to preserve them. And our hero explains to him that he wants them to join him because he is building his state here and wants to contract with them specifically because humans will probably come very soon and hunt them. The leader at first wants to see the village to give him his opinion, so Liam takes them with instant teleportation and brings them there. But the first thing when Chris the she-wolf notices that leader, she attacks him because there is a history of conflicts between them, and she defeats him immediately due to her increased strength and advises him after that to contract with Liam. And indeed, he contracts, and Liam names him Guy, and he transforms into a muscular person and now speaks better than before. And the two after that return to continue their fight again, not knowing that their fight is high level, not just child's play. And after that, Liam uses contract magic and makes everyone his subordinate. He uses them afterwards in gathering rocks, from which he extracts iron, copper, silver, and gold, and also finds the rare mithril metal, which is used in making magic. And after that, Liam repeats that he makes magical armor made of iron. And of course, if he names his armor, it will be stronger, as happened with Scarlet, and he names it Polo, meaning sun. And when the mold he is making is opened, he finds the shape of the armor in the shape of the sun. And that is because Liam thought that when the design of the mold suits its name, it will definitely increase its strength. And after that, during the training of Liam's subordinates, they are all surprised by the presence of a group of humans who are greedy for the place full of treasures and resources. And they threaten them after that and say to them, "We won't make you a market as long as you remain quiet with us." And before Liam takes a stance on this talk, who comes but one of the elves, and she goes to their leader. He says to her, "Good girl, by God, you are polite in this way." But before he finishes his speech, she hits him with a bonnet in his face. The dragons are about to attack her, but she, in the blink of an eye, finishes them all off. And of course, Liam is very happy because the fairies who were weak long ago have now become elves, strong as anything, and can protect themselves. And suddenly, one of the humans comes and puts a knife on Liam's neck and says to them, "Don't any of you move, or I will kill him." But all the present, no one of them cares about his talk, and the situation is normal for them. And Liam, indeed, with just one missile from him, can finish off that man. The rest, after that, run away with their tails between their legs after what they saw in front of them. And after that, then Liam goes to the other world and summons the water spirit to separate the fresh water from the salt, which the village residents need for their living. One of those spirits comes, and she is the first spirit whose level Liam raised. And he learns from her, Liam, that when her level is intermediate, she can possess bodies. And because of that, he raises her level and gives her one of the armors he made. And here her power increases too. He gives armor to Rena, the she-wolf, and Guy, and their strength, the three of them, increases. And we see Rena then extracting a waterfall from under the ground. The she-wolf creates a big explosion very easily, and Guy can crack the earth. Liam then is standing astonished from the initial result of the armors he delivered to his subordinates. And he thinks to himself that if he could make those combat armors and give them to intermediate spirits, then they will possess the strength that will enable them to protect his state. And here, Radon, the dragon, says to him that then he will have the strength to face another state, not just protect his state. After that, we see Judy and Asuna asking Liam where he was hiding, and also about their money that they entrusted with him. Liam, after that, shows them the money that the princess, Scarlet, gave him to keep quiet and not talk about Radon, and gives them, after that, their share of that money. But they prefer that it remains with him, and in this way, it will be safer. And they take him after that and show him a magic book that no one in the entire kingdom owns. And Liam, of course, is happy because this book has spells he has never read before, and thanks them after that for the book. After that, the three of them sit in a restaurant, and Liam talks to them about the state he is building now, combat, and asks them if they would like to join him or continue hunting here, in their town. The two, of course, agree immediately, and Asuna is excited about the idea of the new state and wants to go to it immediately. But Liam says to her, "Take it easy for a bit. I want to master first the spell from the book I took from you." And he actually uses the dust box spell and succeeds in transferring her very quickly. This is similar to the item box spell, but in the new box, he can put any quantity he wants in it. And after that, when Liam tries to put food in it for a minute, it spoils when he takes it out. And after that, an idea comes to him to put a bottle of fresh grape juice with some yeast in the box like that for an hour to make sobia, a drink. And indeed, after that, the juice transforms and becomes the most delicious sobia. And when he tries after that on 10 bottles, each one stays an hour more than the previous, and each one has a taste of 1 additional year of fermentation than the previous. And that means that with the passing of 1 hour only in their world, it corresponds to the passing of 1 year in the dust box. Anyway, after that, Liam takes them to his village, and there everyone welcomes their new siblings. So each race presents a special meal of its own, and the girl Asuna can't control herself and dives into eating the food. And after that, everyone shares the food with each other, and they spend a beautiful time together. After that, they go to the forest, where many fruits grow so they can make all kinds of drinks from them. And suddenly, they hear the scream of one of the trolls who is being attacked by a vampire. Liam intervenes by attacking him with fire missiles, and the vampire runs away after. That, he goes to their leader to check on his friend, but the second has been infected and attacks him. Liam uses the dispel spell to return him, as he was, and indeed it subsides. And here Judy clarifies for them that vampires convert others into vampires, like them by means of a bite, and usually there isn't anything they can do for the infected person. But Liam, in any case, is able to treat him, and their leader then says to them that he wasn't a vampire because they turn to dust during the day under the sun's rays. And Judy wonders if Dracula exists and tells them that Dracula is a person born every few centuries, and under the strength of his leadership, the other vampires become stronger too. And at that time, their weakness towards the sun's rays disappears. And then one of the werewolves comes, screaming after that, and tells them that he spotted a gathering of vampires 10 kilometers away to the north. Their number is 100,000, and all of them are afraid because that number is 100 times more than them. And he continues his talk then that he saw ghouls and demons too among their ranks. Judy then tells them, since they have controlled the different factions, then Dracula must be present. And at that moment, Liam says to them, we will do everything we can. And he gives them the order to inform the neighboring villages to evacuate before the fighting begins. With the passage of time, one of the werewolves returns to Liam again and tells him that he informed everyone of the presence of vampires, but they refused to flee and said to him that it's not some vampires. That will defeat us. And they entered into a state of war with them and have all now turned into vampires. These, my dear viewer, are the victims of pride. And he tells him that at that moment, he saw among them a different vampire. And everyone was bowing to him, and with just one move from him, he managed to awaken all the vampires who fell during the battle. And of course, Liam here confirms the presence of Dracula. And at that moment, Liam says to them that he managed to understand the combat technique of the vampires, and now it's time to face them. And we see them after that, standing in front of them, and our 3 friends use their magical armors. Rena extracts a waterfall from the ground that drowns all the vampires in front of her, and Chris uses her armor to generate an explosion. As for Guy, he uses his armor to generate an earthwave, and Asuna keeps going down slaughtering with her swords, and Judy uses arrows to kill them all. And after they finish off the first group, their turn is over then, and Guy tells them that they must withdraw now. And at that moment, Dracula appears in front of them, and Liam uses instant teleportation and appears in front of him. The two disappear at the same time and appear in another place, and that is because Liam separated Dracula from his followers. And he says to him, we are now 100 miles away from the place we were in, and the problem will be solved now when I defeat you here. Dracula says to him, defeat me? There is no one who could stop me, no matter how strong he is in this world. And at that moment, Liam uses his missiles, but they don't affect him. He disappears suddenly and appears behind him and is about to hit him, but Liam also moves away by disappearing. And at that moment, he uses 9 holy spears and all of them enter him, but Dracula is not affected by them and isn't even damaged. He grabs him after that Dracula and tries to suck his blood, but Liam uses the dispel spell and returns again. He says to himself that he still has his winning card, and that is because his firepower will double if he uses the Radon Guardian armor. But that, of course, will consume all his magical energy, and he uses fireball and ice ball spells, but they don't affect Dracula either. At that time, the vampire says to him, my son, it's no use. I don't die. I am outside the laws of your world, and since I am not alive, you won't be able to kill me. The body I am in is just a vessel, not a real body. And he cuts his arm like that to make him understand that he is just an object he uses to consume the life force floating in the air. And he says to Liam, attack me me as much as you want, but you won't be able to harm me as long as we exist in this world. And believe me, boy, this will disappear if you become my subordinate. And after that, Dracula starts attacking him. But an idea comes to Liam, and he imprisons him inside the dust box. Dracula tries to get out of it, but he can't. Liam says to himself, this box is like the item box. I can't put living creatures in it, but the matter will be different. Of course, if the creature isn't alive, like Dracula said. May your house be ruined, you tough guy? No, you're great. And Liam sees after that the period that Dracula stays inside the box without the life force. And after 10 hours pass, which are 10 years for him, he enters a state of vital suspension because he couldn't do anything. And in that state, Liam is the one who won. And now the time has come for him to return to his friends. After that, Liam returns to the place again and notices that all the vampires are sitting silent on the ground. And that is due to Dracula's defeat. And after that, Dracula's magical power begins to affect the vampires. And in that state, Liam uses the dispel spell to heal them. But the numbers are too large for him. And here an idea comes to him to use the Radon Dragon's magic armor and perform the dispel spell on a wide scale. And he manages to heal all the transformed. But after that, of course, he falls to the ground when all his magical energy is consumed. He wakes up after an hour of losing consciousness and finds that everyone has become well and happy. And Judy says to him, a great light emanated from you and everyone was healed. And also those who disappeared and reappeared again. And after that, Liam orders them to gather all those who were vampires. And they think that Liam wants to take revenge on them because of that. So the leader comes and says to him, you can kill me, but I hope you forgive everyone. Liam says to him, I won't hold any of you responsible, but I want you to join us, because in your condition, you won't be able to appear during the day after losing Dracula's magical energy. And if you contract with me, you will be able to appear during the day. And all I want from you is that you respect 2 rules, which is to listen to my words, and the second is not to cause any internal strife. Of course, the others are happy when they find Liam like Dracula, and they agree to contract with him. And their leader starts first to contract, and Liam names him Olcardo. And at that moment, his strength increases. And not only that, but also the sun's rays no longer affect him. And after 100 hours pass, a notification comes from the dust box that Dracula has vanished completely. After that, we see a group observing Liam through a magical sphere. And their goal is to seize the Promised Land. And they don't know how Liam managed to defeat Dracula. And because of that, he orders one of the sitting followers to increase the observation period of Liam so he can gather more information about him. And that will help them later in seizing his state. And we see after that the developments of the village, which is about to transform from a village into a city due to the increase in the numbers in it. And Rena becomes the supervisor of construction works. And Guy and his friends are the supervisors of the protection process, and Chris and the werewolves are in charge of hunting and providing food. And after that, Guy comes and says to Liam that there's a group of humans who say they are merchants from Cuesta and want to meet the king. Liam says to him, what king? Since when did I become king? And Guy says to him, man, you are definitely the king. And he calls out to everyone and says to them, I believe that Liam is the king of this land. Is there anyone who objects to this talk? Everyone agrees with Guy, and there is no one objecting to this decision. And at that moment, the golden dragon, Radon, appears and repeats that Liam is the king of the new state. And cheers of joy rise that Liam has become the master of the new kingdom. And after that, he goes to Princess Scarlet to see if she has discovered anything. And she tells him that after investigations, she couldn't find out anything. And that is because the king and the ministers are tight-lipped on the subject. But what she is sure of is that there is something mysterious in the Promised Land that makes the state unwilling to concede it. And when he offers her after that to return with him, she says to him that she will stay here to continue her investigations. And Liam returns after that and asks Radon if he is hiding something from him. And Radon says to him, it seems you caught me. And here Liam returns to the place of the dragon statue. And Radon makes him fill the place with his magical energy so that after that he discovers another place underground. This place gathers the ancient and forbidden spells, and this is the dragon's lair. Liam, of course, will jump from happiness because of the word ancient and forbidden spells. And Radon replies to him that this is just the beginning, and the seals will break every time his magical strength increases. And he tells him that he is the first human to break this seal in centuries. And after that, Liam absorbs one of the spells and tries it, but all his spells fail. And to activate the property of ancient magic, he must perform a spell that produces spheres, and he must destroy those spheres all at the same time. And here an idea comes to him to summon his copy, and he uses the ancient magic spell, and the second copy finishes off the spheres with fire. And in this way, Liam actually succeeds. And after that, then they go outside, and Liam summons the item box and throws a large rock at the second copy. The second copy uses ancient magic to create the shield of absolute power, which shatters the rock easily. And this shield, my friend, friend is a barrier that blocks one physical attack, whether it's magic or a rock or anything else. In any case, it guarantees blocking one attack, but if there are two shots together, it won't be able to block the second. And at that moment, Liam has several copies of himself and throws the second copy with several stones. The second copy uses 2 spells after that, and the Shield of Absolute Power keeps evolving, and thus it becomes able to block more than one attack at the same time. And of course, here Liam thinks that when he creates one shield that blocks one attack, because of that, he needs to create barriers at the same speed as his enemy's attacks, at least. And he still needs to improve his speed, because on the battlefield, the attack on him could be with hundreds of arrows. And at that moment, Liam thinks about consuming all his uses to develop the spell, and he sits trying many times in his imagination, fixing any failure he fails at. And indeed, after his imaginations, he manages to master the spell with every success, and the dragon Radon gives him a salute after that. Our hero sits trying the spell all day long, and in the other world, we see Liam training so he can detect the presence of any magic, and the darkness spirit says to him, "I understand what you are doing, surely to use your physical and magical barriers correctly," and she asks him why he doesn't use them all the time. Liam then says to her, "That's not impossible, but I want to learn a more efficient way that consumes less magical energy." So the spirit replies to him that this is possible if he can assess his enemy's attack immediately. We see after that Liam going to Guy because of the presence of some humans who say they are envoys from the Principality of Alta and want to meet the king. And after that, X-Blast comes, who is the responsible of the mission, and says to Liam that the king demands that you marry Lady Flora, and asks him if he is already engaged to the princess, Scarlet. So Liam replies to him that the matter is still a year ahead of him, and the second then says to him, "Great, our king won't let you wait even a moment." And after that, Princess Flora descends, who is exquisite and surpassingly beautiful. And of course, Liam is nervous, and because of that, he invites them to enter the first city, and suddenly, Liam senses the presence of something dangerous coming at them. So he uses his magical shield and saves all the present, but the princess faints. Radon then says to him that this is a suicidal explosive beast made by humans, and if his reaction had been slower than this, the girl with him would have been boned by now. And after that, Liam notices that the perpetrator and cause of this problem is X, who was discussing with him a little while ago, and that is because he is not present now. And Liam orders Guy to protect Flora and the area until he finds the perpetrator. And after that, he goes to bring Princess Scarlet to the scene of the incident. And when he shows her Princess Flora, Scarlet says that she hasn't heard of this name before. And here he tells her about X, who was present a while ago, and said that the Principality wants him to marry Lady Flora. So Scarlet says to him, this X is the right hand of the Principality, and he also participates in stealth operations. And he tells her about the suicidal element that exploded, and she says to him that they did all that to take the state. And when Scarlet interrogates Flora, she tells him that this is a secret child not officially recognized by the higher authorities. And the girl wakes up after that. And when they tell her what happened, she gets frightened and is afraid. And that is because of the curse that afflicted her when people sent her away. And she tells Liam that he must stay away from her so she doesn't harm him. But Liam holds her hand after that and uses dispel magic, and the curse disappears. The girl thanks him very much after that, and Liam offers her to stay in his state to protect her from any harm. And after that, then we see Scarlet giving the red eye to Liam and saying to him that these people have become too dismissive of you. And here I mean all three neighboring states. And because of that, you must show them your strength. And Liam then asks her, how do I show them my strength? Do I go fight someone, for example? So she says to him, there is one way, which is that you mint a currency for our state, and it must be a currency with very high details, in precision, and also those details are not diminished by reproduction, and must be better than the currency of the state of Jamel. And in this way, you will have a chance to display our power. Liam, of course, likes the idea and starts actually manufacturing silver coins with very high details. And she tells him after that he must also make copper coins. But if he makes them from copper only, their value will be less than their manufacturing cost. So he must mix them with another metal of lower value in manufacturing. And immediately, Liam produces the copper coins, which Scarlet is excited about because of the precision of details in them. As for Judy and Asuna, they take the coins to spend them, and the money changer is stunned by the precision of the coins, and says to them that if all the coins are with these details, their value will be 3 times the value of the coin of Jamel. And we go after that to our friends again, and Bruno comes to visit his brother. He asks for his permission for his family to practice trade inside his state, and says to him that they will comply with the laws of his state and will pay taxes too. Liam says to him, get a hold of yourself, man, and start from the beginning, please. Bruno then clarifies to him that this land is surrounded by states like Jamel, Costa, Alta, and it is expected that it will flourish under his rule. And also, this place could be a link between trade routes. And because of that, he is offering himself to ask him for this, because he is currently the family head. And because he is the family head, Liam, of course, agrees. And that is because Bruno was always an ally to him. And after that, he telepathically communicates with Scarlet and says to her, "What is your opinion on this matter?" So she says to him, "It is better for you to grant his request and deal with your brother kindly in matters of taxes and such things. And at the same time, deal strictly with your older brother and your family and all those who underestimated you before, because that is what the king must do." And Bruno leaves after that. And Radon praises Liam because he takes the opinion of his followers in any decision, and he doesn't know them. And that is what a real king does. And also he praises Scarlet because she is a smart person and also right in all her decisions. After that, he talks to him about the flaws of magic and says to him that he must strengthen himself at all times using his magical power. And that is by using magical energy as a source of power instead of shaping it into a spell. And we see Radon transforming after that into the form of a girl. And Liam is surprised by the sight he is seeing, that Radon turned out to be female. And she says to him, "Radon, forget all this. Talk. I will show you now how to use your magical energy as a source of power instead of the work of your spells." And she actually uses her energy and sits, jumping in the air right, left, up, down, and descends again in the same place. We see Liam after that walking in the same steps as her and succeeds, actually in flying. But after a short while, he falls again to the ground. And after that, Radon creates 5 bubbles in 5 different places in Liam's body and says to him that he must saturate those 5 sites with magical energy. And she makes him direct 20% of his magical power to each place within 10 seconds. And indeed, Liam succeeds in this test, and his level rises from 100 to 110%. Then she creates 5 bubbles for him again and says to him, "Try 25 in your left hand and right leg and 15 in your right hand and left leg." And Liam is very excited about the new experiment and says to her, "If I can master this, I will have the ability to cast from 19 to 101 spells by adjusting my power." The girl, of course, says to him, "Okay," and the world is the ultimate chill. After that, Radon sits giving instructions for distributing power differently in Liam's limbs. And when he succeeds in the first stage, they move after that to the second stage, which is the tug-of-war stage. And this is a rope of light. And for Liam to pull it, he must use his magical energy. In this state, Radon says to Liam, "Your magical power must be appropriate to the strength of the person in front of you." And when the 2 strengths differ from each other, we see Liam falling to the ground. And here he knows that this is training, so he knows how the strength of the person in front of him is. And at that moment, Liam puts all his concentration so he can pass the test. And Radon after that makes her strength increase and decrease, and Liam succeeds in equaling her strength. And after he succeeds in the test, the final test is for him to fire the largest number of projectiles simultaneously. And in the time he used to fire 10 projectiles, he succeeds in firing 27 projectiles. And that is a result of the increase in the strength of Liam's limbs, which increased the efficiency of his use of his magical energy. We see after that the friends sitting together in a meeting and talking about state affairs. Rena reports to Liam that everything is under control, but they only lack water and salt, and they are relying on him for something like this. And Scarlet after that asks the dragon Radon if there are places in the Promised Land where they can extract rock salt from, and Radon replies to her that there might be a place in the southwest of the city, and Scarlet asks him to tell them the exact place, and he replies to them that he will tell Liam at another time. And after that, Liam meets with Radon while she is in her girl form, and he says to her that Asuna told him if we possessed an ocean, it would be something useful for us, and he invented a spell that can bring a source from the ocean that is there, but that will be difficult for him because it will change the topography and his strength won't be sufficient. So Radon says to him, "Are you going to make an ocean or what, teacher? All you can do simply is work on the scale you can achieve currently, and that's it." And after that, Liam succeeds in bringing a connection from the ocean to the Promised Land by using the Earth Spirit and also using the item box. So the water arrives continuously, and Asuna and Scarlet are astonished by the idea and are happy and then rest. And on the second day, Liam uses the Otherworld Gateway and goes to Scarlet, and she tells him that a delegate came to her and said that Region AG is suffering from a severe drought, and this is her mother's homeland. specifically in the kingdom of Jimmel. And Liam says to her, no problem at all. We can transfer water to them there easily using the element box and instant transport. And after that, he makes Scarlet his envoy to that country, and that she tells the king that they will provide them with water and don't want anything in return because this is a natural disaster. And Radon then talks to Liam after that and says to him that what you did is correct, but pride sometimes interferes in the actions of some people and turns them into catastrophic mistakes. And this talk is about the ruler of Jimmel and that he might become arrogant about these aids. And this talk turns out to be correct when Scarlet tells him that the leader did not agree and said that his kingdom cannot deal with this disaster alone. And at that moment, Radon suggests the idea of rain to Liam, and that requires a high level of holy magic spells. And Liam then is astonished by the idea, but he postpones it because he wants to use another method. After that, he meets with his brother, Bruno, who is a noble from Jimmel, and asks him if he can offer something in exchange for natural disasters. And Bruno then says to him, yes, and it is recognized as an achievement to maintain the family's status as well. And Bruno asks him if he is here regarding the drought. So Liam says to him, exactly, but the king of Jimmel refused my offer of help, and because of that, I will have to solve the problem. But it will be with you being the one in the forefront, and you will be the person who officially offers the help and distributes the water. And Bruno, of course, welcomes the idea and agrees. And after that, Liam clarifies to him that he will use instant transport to reach the area he wants to go to and provide it with water barrels that he will distribute. And Bruno says to him, you can rely on me, but providing water to all parts of the kingdom will cost you a lot of money. And here, Liam says to him, don't worry, the water won't cost me much because I obtained it from the source. And of course, they won't charge you taxes because this is a natural disaster and you are helping, and it won't cost you anything but labor, nothing more. And after that, the operation is carried out, and Liam makes a move and summons his copy, but he changes its shape to the form of his favorite singer and sends the illusion in the form of Amelia to execute the disaster relief plan in AG. After that, we see Liam with Flora, who is his future bride, and Liam talks to her about building a line of the mithril element, which will enable the village residents to extract well water and light fire very easily. So Flora replies to him that using a rare material like this for people's daily life is waste and extravagance for nothing. Liam, on the contrary, replies and says to her, if people have elements of light, water, and fire provided easily, then they will have time to produce other things more, and this will lift that. Flora, of course, is impressed by Liam because in her country, the higher light and the nobles don't think about the lives of ordinary people. And after that, we see Guy calling on a magical device that Liam recently made, like a telephone, and says to him that there is a group claiming to be dragon knights from Cuesta, coming with their leader and want to meet him. Flora says to him that she knows them, and these are people who ride dragons. Their dragons are obedient like dogs and brave like lions. And after that, Liam heads to the place where they are, and the first time he approaches them, the dragons become afraid, and Radon then says to Liam that they are just lizards to me, and she aroused in them the survival instincts the first time they felt her. Liam says to her after that they are small like her children. So Radon gets angry and says to him, you are comparing me and my children to these lizards? Are you stupid, man? Or what? Get a hold of yourself a little. And after that, Shella, who is the princess of Cuesta and the first head of the Austrian family, steps forward and gets straight to the point and challenges him to a duel. Liam asks her about the reason for this duel. So she replies to him that his question is silly because the answer, of course, is to understand each other more. And after that, she says to him, you must kill me now so I can determine if you are useful or not. And of course, Liam sees the challenge as a trick, and they must kill each other because he hasn't made any alliances with the 3 neighboring states yet. And they start the fight after that, and the princess disappears in the blink of an eye, and Liam puts up the absolute magic shield. The princess attacks him from behind and breaks some of his shields, and after that she attacks him with some fireballs, but the barriers he made block those strikes. And Liam is then in an unenviable position because he can hear her voice but can't see her due to her high speed. And suddenly, Radon speaks to him and says to him, disappear immediately. And the princess emerges, attacking him with a sword of fire. And this sword is not magical and at the same time not physical. And because of that, the absolute shield will be unable to block it. And the princess after that laughed and said to him, you have lost. It's time for the final blow now. But here Liam says, enough is enough, and uses his magic and manages to determine her location very easily. And every time she comes to attack him, he knows her location. The girl is immediately surprised. How is he able to match her speed? Liam at that time then uses magical fog and says to her, your speed was greater than my perception ability. And because of that, instead of watching her with his eyes, he used used the fog to detect her location, and that is by linking her body to the place where there is no fog, and that makes his hand point to the place where she is. Shayla after that says to him, "You are great. Your strength has interested me, and because of that, I can make you the highest royal court mage in Cuesta." And after that, she asks his permission to talk to him alone, and because of that, he takes her to his palace with the instant teleportation feature. And here Liam remembers when Jamel and Alta sent their princesses to him to marry him, and he wonders in his mind what will be the condition for allying with her. So the girl informs him that the most important condition for allying with her is a treaty of non-military aggression. And of course, here he is suspicious of her, because this is a condition that is clear in any alliance treaty. And the second then says to him, "I know that you feel doubt, but there is a saying among us that says, do not underestimate the dragon's crown." And Liam asks her about what happened between her state and Radon. So she says to him that their state was close to finishing off Radon, and they sent her to make this alliance. And the result she saw was that the dragons disobeyed her knights and responded to him because he is the bearer of the dragon's crown. And when Liam asks Radon, she says to him that it is better to make a pact with them, because no matter how strong your state is, you shouldn't increase the number of your enemies. And after that, the two agree with each other on an alliance treaty. And while she is bidding him farewell, she asks him about the name of his state. But until now, Liam hadn't chosen anything yet. And because of that, Radon appears again and says to her that the state's name is Liam Radon, a state ruled by a human, granted absolute authority. And of course, Shella is terrified by the sight she is seeing. And after that, Liam takes her to her room. But while they are walking, she is surprised that all the houses are houses emitting light. And Liam clarifies to her that this state is built on ancient storage, and this is something like a magic book, and all the houses draw their energy from it. And after that, she goes and looks in one of the houses, which she finds lit even though no one is present, and she sees one producing water without a source. And he tells her that the houses are based on spells of light, water, and fire, and the three are used inside any house. And they stop away from the city after that and see the lights that increase every time the night gets darker. And it is a beautiful view for them. And after that, the princess asks him how using all this magical energy won't result in magic crystals. And he informs her that those crystals are produced from the waste of the magical spells that individuals use. So Liam says to her, okay, and takes her after that. He then asks Radon about the reason, and she says to him that the average human produces magic crystals due to the waste of his spells. And that is because he doesn't use the spell with 100% efficiency like you do. And when Liam tries casting a spell with 0% power, it produces magical waste in the form of glowing dust. And he uses the magical detection power after that to determine the location of those crystals, and goes to the forest and actually finds one there. And when he asks Radon what he can do with it, she says to him, nothing, but these crystals are very expensive and at the same price as a gem of the same size. And Liam is astonished by the idea and says to himself that he can use them as a high income for his state. And on the second day, he gathers with his brother Bruno and thanks him for what he did with him in AG, because things have improved greatly. And after that, he shows him the magic crystal in the ground and says to him, I can provide a high production of it, and that is because everyone in the village uses magic routinely. And because of that, he proposes trading it with him. And from his brother's reaction, he knows that the magic crystals are indeed of high value. And Bruno says to him, this is true because they are beautiful and also rare. Not only that, but each piece has a special pattern, and its price depends on its pattern. And I am ready to make a great effort to achieve the maximum profits for you. And when he sees the crystal, he says to him that it is clear from its shape that it is recently made, and it is in high demand among the nobles, and also its price increases every year that passes over it more. And here, of course, an idea comes to Liam, which is to put it in the dust box, because 1 hour in it is worth 1 year. And when he puts the crystal for 500 hours, 500 years pass over it, and its size shrinks, and of course its price increases. And at that time, Bruno puts it in a box to embellish its appearance more. After that, Liam stores it in his item box, and Liam sends a delegation of elves to Cuesta, and among them is a disguised person in the form of an elf, and he sends with them the magic crystal as proof of the friendship of their state. And the king, when he sees it, is astonished by it, because he has never seen anything like it. And when he calls the appraiser, he estimates its age at 500 years, and everyone is astonished by the piece in their hands. And this was the idea that came to Liam's mind, which he did to gain the alliance of the neighboring states. And it was formed from Scarlet's suggestion with Radon's and Bruno's thinking. And Bruno respects Liam's thinking and encourages him for what he did. And after that, we see the elves returning again and telling Liam that their plan succeeded. And also they sent with them gifts for them. And Princess Shella will also come to discuss the relations between the two states. And here Liam rests a little finally. And we see after that a meeting between Flora, Scarlet, and the vampire, discussing the affairs of the neighboring states after their relationship, with Cuesta improved. And Scarlet says to Liam, "We will do all this alone, and you continue on your path with the dragon." After that, Liam's state develops when it interacts with people outside the country and also traders. And due to its strategic location, it became a trade center between states. And our hero notices. After that, the presence of two people observing him, but he ignores them for now. And we see him after that, going to Guy and his workers who were digging in the rock, and Liam orders them to break the rock into small pieces because he wants to make a road and pave it in an attempt to create the magic city. And after the workers finish digging, they put the small rock pieces in the trench. And after that, he summons Salamander, and they blow fire regularly into the road until it solidifies. And thus, it is finished. And after that, this process starts to spread throughout the entire city until the whole city becomes in the same condition of roads. And here, Liam decides to expand the roads outside the city as well, and actually starts operations like that. But he notices a mistake, which is that if it rains, water will accumulate in the middle of the road. And because of that, he summons Salamander and makes them blow fire to a depth of 10 centimeters. And the cloud spirits raise the road from the middle. And thus, the road becomes slightly elevated in the middle from the edges, so water doesn't accumulate here. And after that, he applies the same process inside his state. And we see him after that in the forest making a bed consisting of a single rope. He tries to sleep on it, but falls. And Radon says to him, "Are you trying to train or what?" So he says to her, "I realize that when my body is filled with energy, it is granted physical strength or weight. And because of that, I got the idea to continue training even while I'm sleeping." And he tries a second time and falls, but he tries after that to distribute the magical forces and corrects his posture, and that time actually becomes easier. And he manages to stabilize on the rope. And here Liam becomes able to feel subtle differences in magic that he couldn't detect before. And Radon clarifies to him that magical energy is the latent power that any person possesses. And it differs depending on the land they live in and the things they eat and drink, which shows subtle differences in the wavelength of their power. And here Liam understands her words, so he activates magical detection. And at that time, he discovers all the spies sent by the three states. And here, Liam knows that since the three states are watching him, then their enmity towards him is stronger. And after that, he goes to Scarlet and asks her about the amount of military power that the three states possess. So Scarlet replies to him that Jamel and Alta can provide 20,000 soldiers each, while Costa can provide 50,000 soldiers. And that is the number each one can provide if we fight them alone. But if they ally with each other to attack us, the number of Alta and Jamel will double, while Costa always fights with all its strength. And because of that, their number will remain as it is. And thus, in total, it will be 130,000. And Liam then thinks that the confrontation will be difficult alone because they don't number more than 10,000 people approximately, counting all civilians. And Radon then says to him that if every one of those 10,000 people possessed a magical armor, it would be easy for you to kill them. But for Liam now, this matter is very difficult to achieve because he needs a lot of mithril, and that is not available. And here Liam sits thinking with all his wisdom to avoid fighting with them. And after that, Liam thinks to himself about the three neighboring states to their state. Besides that, there is another state besides them, and he wouldn't be surprised if they sent their agents. And because of that, he activates magic detection more strongly and deeply and senses the presence of great magical powers coming from the heart of the state. He teleports there and orders Guy to dig in the ground directly. And at that time, he finds a very large amount of mithril, and with that amount, he can make combat magical armors for everyone in the village. And if he also lets the spirits possess them, they will be stronger too, and that will compensate for the difference in military power. And after that, he comes out and tells Scarlet that she must spread the news that their state possesses a vein of mithril that will allow them to equip all their soldiers with armors, and it will even be in surplus. And in this way, this vein will be the clear deterrent for their state. And Liam stops after that the road works and starts mithril mining operations, and he extracts many ingots sufficient to create thousands of armors. And he holds the ingots in his hand like that and plays with them, and he remembers what was happening on footnotes after that. He says to Rina, "Unfortunately, we will have to stop the roadworks until they extract all the mithril we need." But here an idea comes to Liam, and he repeats that instead of making the road, just an ordinary road, he will first fix it with the mithril element and then fix it with stones. And he actually does his experiment and makes Guy fix the road with mithril and then with stones. And he makes Rina stand on it too. And at that time, she feels a tremendous magical energy. All the spells enter her thoughts. And that is because the mithril element is the element from which they draw their magical energy. And after that, she can cast her ice spell and succeeds in it very easily. He says to her after that, Liam, that he used magic to convert the thin mithril in the road into an ancient storage device, and placing it under the city's road will allow any person to learn those spells easily. And Rina, of course, is very astonished by his brilliant idea. But our hero says to her, "Thus, we will have to repave all the roads again." And after repaving the roads, everyone stands and starts casting spells at Liam. And Liam, after that, starts blocking all the fireball, ice, and wind spells with his shields. And thus, being in this city becomes like carrying a magic book with any person at all times. And he says to Rina after that this is not everything, and makes her stand on the road like that, and says to her, "Try to perform the telephone spell." And the girl has never used this spell before, which enables her to communicate with anyone inside the city, and she tries it after that with her friend Natasha, and the spell actually succeeds. At that time, Rina rejoices and says to Liam that he built a magic city, and here Liam was able to transform from just an ordinary, tired person into a king who owns a magic city that no one else in the world owns. And here is a piece of advice from me to you, dear viewer. No matter how little you see yourself, you will be able one day to be something you only need in your life to trust yourself, nothing more. And up to here, our awesome summary has ended, so don't forget the like and subscription man. And well, goodbye. See you in a new video.